What's up, everybody? Welcome to VTX Podcast, Episode 5. This is going to conclude the series of episodes that are recorded in late 2019. And of course, last but not least, we have Crisp Linen. Crisp Linen, at the time that I recorded this podcast, had released 2 full-length EPs in 2019, Conversational, Gunpoint, as well as Change the Channel. And since then, he's released another EP called Ignorance is Bliss at the very end of 2019. And in 2020, he's already released 7 singles featuring BBH Samir, who we had on last week, Jet Ski Mani, who's also recorded at VTX Studio. Crisp Linen is a go-getter. This dude comes into the studio ready to work, and I really appreciate that about him. And there's a lot of great takeaways in this episode. For me personally, I really resonated with me was when he first started out releasing music, he was very much in a hurry to get songs out and upload to SoundCloud. It was so easy, and you make it and you put it out right away. But over time, he realized each song is kind of a reflection of who you are as an artist. You should still have deadlines when to release music, but you should give yourself enough time to develop a relationship with your song. Again, there's a lot of great takeaways in this episode, and I hope you enjoy. Without further ado, here's Crisp Linen. Crisp Linen, welcome.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming through. Shit, man. 2 EPs released this year.
Yeah, couple different styles going on in there. In the first one, I'm with Bo, Conversational Gunpoint. Bo's engineering and producing on all those tracks. It's pretty tight. It's pretty tight. I like it.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, like definitely respect the hustle and getting the work out there. And recently, you did an interview with We Are Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was checking, and you said something that I thought was really cool, was that you're willing to like make music, put it on the back burner for a little bit. Maybe you're like not feeling like releasing that one, or like even just let it simmer for a little bit and listen to it with fresh ears, take a couple weeks. And I was thinking, shit, sometimes like a couple months or even a couple years with some artists to let something develop. That's like a wise approach to music creation, to like let a song develop organically and to like approach it with fresh ears. Like, is that always the way you created music, or is that a concept how did you come up with that concept?
Definitely not. I feel like at some point I definitely got more serious with my music to a point where I started developing like a relationship with each song, each EP, like things that I would imagine as a complete project. And basically, when I first started making music, it was just like tomfoolery, to be honest. Like, we would just try to drop something as fast as possible. Because I'm also a firm believer. I'm a firm believer that you're supposed to like make something, and that when it came out is when it's going to be freshest, like the most pertinent, and possibly like the most popular it could get, like in the moment. Like, so you should drop it relatively soon, I feel like. But at the same time, like, you have to develop this relationship with this song before you're really ready. So I feel like once I started thinking about performances, that mindset started coming on. Because, like, before, just putting something on SoundCloud's easy, you know? And once you've got, like, a background where you're like, okay, I'm going to perform this. I want other people to hear this, you know what I mean? Like the image getting stuck to the audio at the same time, like I started realizing like, all right, each one of these songs is going to be a reflection of me, and I should take a little more time into consideration, like after the creation, like post, basically.
Right. So do you feel like, since it's like a reflection of you, the way you're expressing yourself, does that put a little bit of sense of urgency to release it because you want to keep it close to that time frame? Or are you sometimes thinking like this could be like a long-term, like this is a song that people could relate to years down the road?
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. Yeah. A lot of songs are definitely like that. I feel like it's more seasonal. Like every year is very similar. Like a song might not lose that momentum throughout the years, but it would lose it in the spring, or it would lose it in the winter, because like seasonal depression is like a thing too. like it's really real. Like when something drops, like in relation to what's going on in the world. Because if I said like a line about this Joker movie in a song, like 3 years later, it's kind of like, but this is a big movie, you know what I mean? Like 3 years later, like that line holds. But if I say something about any other movie that's like kind of big this year, it might not hold, you know what I mean? So it's also definitely situational. But definitely it hits harder when it's something that's like, I guess, like a song more to be heard than listened. Like if you got a song that's going to be listened, if it's really a good song, it's going to be good forever. You know what I mean? But a song to be heard gets outdated. Like there's some songs people will say like, oh, like that song's so old. Like, but people don't say that about like Frank Ocean's songs or like Tyler the Creator. You know what I mean? They're like, you'll recognize like the song is from a while ago, but you don't say like, oh, that song's so old. Like why are you still listening to that? You know what I mean? Because like those songs feel like classics. Maybe like it's that effect, I guess. So I just distinguish of what I'm going for. Like, is this a song for right now, or is this a song for like my identity down the line?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's, when you're using pop culture references or even like technology references. I heard about, I was listening to like a Ludacris album, and he's talking about, how all the discs in your disc changer are probably his record or something like that. I'm so funny, like a disc changer, you know what I mean? And like you could go through all sorts of things throughout time where just like, people aren't really using that technology anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of could be the risk on using, finding that balance between finding some sort of pop culture references that people can relate to in the moment.
Yeah. But there's like mixtape. Like nobody even makes mixtapes, but we drop mixtapes. Like how's that possible? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So talk about the mixtape thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really like into calling something a mixtape, like unless it's really like a mix. Like if it's like a bunch of tracks I have with a couple different artists and there's not really anything going on, I guess that's like a mixtape. But like I don't know why people call the mixtapes like they're really EPs or like.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think at one point someone told me a mixtape was specifically when you're using other people's beats, like from songs that had been already popular, and you grab those
like
beats.
A remix.
Yeah,
okay.
kind of like that. I could be wrong about that, but I think I heard that at one point.
Because I know people definitely drop mixtapes, like actually mixtapes, but everyone like drops a mixtape. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I just that's definitely not what's going on. Like for me so far, like I own my beats and it's like a original creation and whatnot. So I feel like it's an EP.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And so how long have you been writing, recording, and releasing music?
Writing, definitely, maybe even before I realized it, maybe 5 years. It's coming on to maybe 4 years where I began recording music because we would just make like dumb bullshit tracks on in high school, just like nonsense going on and whatever. But then we started taking it a little more seriously once we started getting like good input. Like, you know what I mean? Some people are like, yo, like your shit's funny, but like I feel like you can actually rap. Like maybe you should like actually go to a studio. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, that's possible. I'll give it a shot. And I just started getting into this like relationship with music, basically, where it's like good for, you know what I mean, your stress, your anxiety, anything. Like you get to say things like to people that you'll never talk to. You know what I mean? Like you just I just found closure through it and just comfort also. It's just something I'm really comfortable doing. So I just continue to do so. So recording like seriously, I feel like a couple songs, maybe a year before Conversational Gunpoint dropped, I started getting really, really serious. So like performing maybe a year ago. So I feel pretty fresh into it, but I have been doing this for a while.
So where are some places you've performed?
The first place I performed was in Brooklyn at the Sunnyvale. I did it was a showcase, I think Coast to Coast Live. That was the first place I ever performed. I did such a whack track. It's crazy. But a couple of my friends came out to support and whatever, and like people were feeling it in the crowd just because like this beat my boy made for me, it was pop, you know what I mean? And Like, it was such a whack song, though. I look back and I see, like, the video on YouTube, and I'm just like, damn, this is insane, because we didn't mix and master this. Like, we recorded it basically on an iPhone. Might as well have been an iPhone, and then just, like, put the track on the beat. Like, there was nothing done. And still, like, you know what I mean? They played it. There was some big judge people, like, some big names in the judges, but I don't remember. Like, they were, like really in the music industry and whatever. It was a whole thing. But yeah, I mean, that kind of just got me comfortable with performing, because before that I didn't really even like have any interest whatsoever. I was like, maybe I'm like a Earl Sweatshirt type rapper where I just exist on the internet. Like, nah. But yeah, then after that I started doing open mics, other showcases. Who Are You showcase I did maybe 2 months ago. We're doing another one on Friday, and I've just like taken my music anywhere where they've got a microphone, to be real. I'm trying to think of exactly. BBH Samir, he had this little performance he did for the R Factor. It's this like talent show at Rutgers, and he's done a couple of them, and he invited me over to hype him for one of them. And I guess this really sparked my recent performing wave, and we actually won. And it was crazy because like a lot of like artists were talented. They weren't just doing like hip hop. So I was like, you know what I mean? They pulled out the guitars, did some what's it called? Who was that? Oh, Panic at the Disco. They did all, and there was like a Kanye quartet like thing. It was crazy. Like, so like winning that like gave me a lot of confidence, because you know what I mean? Like, we were up against some real talented people, and Samir went all the way through with it. Like,
Yeah, he was just on the podcast a few days ago and mentioned it, how he did that. And they actually had a cash prize, right?
Yeah.
For the winner of that that's really cool.
that was the first money we ever made off hip hop.
Yeah,
like,
man.
For real.
I could see how that'd be a confidence boost for sure.
Yeah, it's just like, there was a lot of people. I'd say there was maybe even like 200 people, and it was like vote based.
They did that at the Yard?
Not what building? College Ave Student Center.
Student Center, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
so it's vote based, and I'm like, oh damn, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
We won the vote. Like, that's great.
And yeah, I was talking to him a little bit too about like the community you guys have put together, like your team that you've been working with.
Right.
You both mentioned Bo, that's making beats and producing you guys, and other, you know, hip hop and rap enthusiasts in the area. Tell me a little bit about what the scene's like around New Brunswick and in this area, or in just Jersey in general, the type of people you've met and the type of people you're working with.
Right. I feel like everyone's really positive and supportive. Like, I don't know what it's like in other music scenes. I've really just been stomping around where I live, you know what I mean? And everyone's been really supportive. Like, I feel like sometimes it can be a little difficult when there's like so many different styles of music, but at the Scarlet Pub especially, like, I'm going tonight. It's one of my favorite places to perform. And it's just like people just really appreciate good music, and everyone comes through with something where you can hear their story. They're not trying to be somebody else. Like, it's really genuine music, and I really appreciate that. So like getting support from these artists all doing similar things to me, and we're all helping each other on the build up. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's not what I'd expect, especially doing my performance over in Sunnyvale in Brooklyn. The vibe I got was more like commercial. Like, it was more like, yeah, sell these tickets, then, you know what I mean, we can talk.
Pay to play sort of thing.
Yeah. But no, in New Jersey, for sure, definitely had really good experiences with other artists and venues and everything so far.
That's dope, man. Yeah, I always feel like I got to shout out Caroline and Embrace DIY.
Yeah, big shout out Caroline, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I'll see her tonight. You know what I mean? I'm about to let her know about this podcast soon.
Let her know. I mentioned it to her on, I think it was Saturday. They did a little showcase at Fatto Americano.
Yeah.
And I know she's doing showcase at Hub City Brew House.
Yeah.
So she's really dedicated to it,
Yeah,
man.
gotta appreciate her. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even come in early enough to see them like set up the speakers, but you gotta like think about all those things like every single week, like this consistency. Like, that's some shit you gotta fucking admire. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, man. And let's see what else I wanted. Oh yeah, thanks for the shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, we got the change of channel out here. You already know what's going on. This is the next EP that came out just a few weeks ago. I think at the end of September. Yeah, and you helped me engineer the first 3 tracks on it.
Yeah, man, that was really cool. I hadn't really worked on a hip hop project in a while,
Right.
and seeing you guys come in was really inspiring because we just worked for like 3 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, you and Samir were the first ones to come in to work and just like had your verses ready. Obviously, had done your pre-production and knew what you were going for over the track.
Right.
And it was just like, the flow, the workflow. I felt like we had a really good connection. We just like, cranked it out.
Yeah.
What are some things you guys do to prepare for like a studio session?
We definitely record it at our own house real quick, get an idea of what's going on. Because when you're recording a song, I don't think people realize the level, because there's this infatuation with, oh, we just recorded the song. Oh, we just dropped the song, like this super streamlined speed process of dropping music. There's this infatuation in online and like just in hip hop and what have it. And I don't think it's really like that. I think artists with big budgets just spend a lot of time in the studio, like perfecting their craft and whatnot. Because when you're recording a song, if you're a developing artist and you're not doing just the same thing over and over again, you're gonna realize when you have the inflection and the different styles you could like place on your music, like the different ways you could do this, it's gonna be a lot of consideration and time and hearing back like, oh, okay, this was cool, but this was different. Like, can I build on this? Like, what? Like, it's not like a door opens and a door closes. Like a door opens and now you got 3 more doors, and now you're like wondering if you were even in the right place to begin with. So you know what I mean? Like I'd be taking my time like in the studio. So like before I go to a session where I'm like, we're gonna record all the final vocals. Like I've tried so many different things, and basically I just try to like speed that process up. Just like I feel like the slowest part is hearing yourself back. You know what I mean? Like you hear yourself back and you're like trying to decide if that was what you wanted. You know what I mean? So it's because you know how like if you hear something like me talking right now, I'm hearing it in through my ears a certain way versus something recorded, it sounds different. So you just gotta get familiar with that too.
And you notice like, so there's hearing yourself in the moment, then hearing yourself back like right after you tracked it.
Yeah.
And then maybe hearing yourself with fresh ears like either the next day or like a day or two after.
Yeah. Definitely a level of ear fatigue too, yeah. So it's like there's no point in hurting your ears. Like, so I feel like it's misleading to tell artists like that, oh, drop your music right away. But at the same time, there is that vibe thing going on we talked about earlier where like this vibe worked really good right now because that was the vibe right now. But you shouldn't like rush yourself that intensely because it's gonna come out sloppy.
It's super easy now. You have SoundCloud, Bandcamp, YouTube for independent people to just upload anything they want. You don't really have to go through a music distributor. You can just go directly and you can update your image or your songs in the moment. Whereas like if you have things on iTunes, Spotify, whatever.
It's going to take a few days.
It's going to take a few days, yeah.
Change the channel took 10 days to drop on Spotify, Apple Music after we had all the finished files. So it was a little delayed than I intended, but it's fine. You know what I mean? It happens.
Yeah, man. Great stuff, brother. So what's some things we can look forward to in the future?
All right, so we got a couple different EPs going on, and not that I don't really know what the fuck's going on with them. They're just really crazy and all over the place. But a couple ideas you're going to be seeing in the future. So we got Image Industry, where I talk about how the industry is basically like getting a little saturated to the level where the image is more important than the actual music, because honestly we're all human and we're all about the same and we're all capable of making great music and other talents such like similar like art and whatnot. We're all capable of that. So I feel like now like these big name industry like level record labels are looking for things like with image, and I'm just like I just go on like for a couple tracks like shutting that down on why that's nonsense and whatnot. So I'm just coming after the image industry. And then there's we don't really have a name, but it's like kind of like an evil themed like darkness EP where it's just like these vibes of like just like dark trap vibes, not really specifically sticking to a theme, but just like just a darker vibed EP. Like I don't got a name though. And then I've definitely got another EP called One Bad Day. Like it's based on. So actually, I mentioned Joker movie. It's actually based on this Joker comic called The Killing Joke, and he says something about like why he's the way he is, and he says he just had one bad day. So I'm just kind of building on that. Like it's not going to be really Joker themed, but I'm just saying like how like something insignificant in one moment could be somebody's whole life. Like there's like these moments that could alter somebody's entire past. Like, and that's kind of going to be the theme of that EP. And then I just got a lot of singles coming out, a lot of collaborations with Outliers, Jet Ski Money, Little Dead Gem. Of course, more songs with Bo coming out on the side of these EPs also. Both of those EPs are like fully produced, engineered by Bo. And then also like EPs like that I just, you know what I mean? I build on songs that I keep in my locker basically, and I just, all right, now these are fitting together. This is doing something. There's like a correlation and relationship happening with these songs. Let's put them together, and that's, you know what I mean, like basically build together an EP. That definitely is going on to a level, but I just don't know how many tracks we've got going on together for anything besides what I just said.
That's dope, man. That sounds like you got a lot of stuff in the works, man. Chris Blinnon, appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.
Rock and roll,
Great
man.
to be
Thank
here,
you.
man.